Hello and welcome to Marie Hayden's channel, A Renew You. I have just completed a week of prayer and fasting. So when I say that week of prayer and fasting, it doesn't necessarily mean I fasted for the whole week. So I commenced on Sunday, and by Wednesday, I was having a lot of difficulty keeping my sugars at a normal level. So my norm of where a safe range is supposed to be is between 70 to 90, and I was dropping down into 50. I'd have some fat like an avocado, and I would be able to bring my sugar up to about 60-ish, and then drop back down again. And then I tried almond butter, and that wasn't working. I tried smoked salmon, and it just wasn't staying up. And then the last thing I tried was some eggs. So I decided that at that point that it was no longer safe for me to continue the longer fast. So it's really important that we pay attention to those blood sugar numbers. There's no heroic venture in this. It's about tuning in and learning how your body works. There's several other people that were struggling just to get their sugars down to 100. So, I've been at this for a while. So me going into a longer fast isn't necessarily what I need. So Wednesday was just sort of that trying to get the sugar up. Thursday was an absolute crash for me. Anything and everything in me ached. My neck ached, my shoulder ached, my back ached, my calves ached, my feet ached. And I don't mean to sit here and whinge, but there was some serious toxic release, but I also think more importantly, there was a huge diminish of natural minerals. Potassium and magnesium are super important, and they play a big role in keeping us hydrated and keeping our muscles and our organs functioning at peak performance. So what did I have? I had a banana to get my potassium up. I went back to my salt water, and Thursday is when I began to sort of eat small meals. I had bacalao, which is like a cod, had that with some vegetables and a bit of pesto. Lots of oil in there, good old extra virgin olive oil. I prefer organic because I know that at least it's been purified just a little bit more than having been sprayed with something. Even if it does get sprayed from another field, I still feel like I'm getting less. So I did have that a couple times on Thursday. And then Friday, I pretty much just kept to real simple things. I had avocado, smoked salmon, and throughout this whole time, I should also interject, I've been having lamb bone broth. So I had lamb bone broth Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. So part and part, the lamb broth in conjunction with re-entering the food into my diet after having a fast is that I was able to heal the gut. I was able to use the nourishment, the good collagen, the good aminos that are extracted from the bones of that broth. My broth tends to go for about 12 to 24 hours. This one was definitely 24. Did it in the crock pot. Real simple lamb bones. I like to eat leg of lamb, so I save the bones from the butcher, and then I toss those in, fill up my crock pot with water, and I put about a half a cup of apple cider vinegar in. That helps extract the nutrients out of the bone. And then at the very end, when I'm done, getting that bone broth, I add my salt at the end to taste. And some people like more, some people like less. I'm trying to replenish, so I did put a hefty amount of good old sea salt in there. So at the end of the day, I really want you to take a look at what works for you in terms of longer fast and see how often you can interject these into your monthly routine. Now, for my ladies out there that are still nursing, I want you to make sure that you're not doing any longer fasts. I had somebody come up to me this week and say, yeah, I've been fasting all day and I'm still nursing. And no, I'm sorry, ladies. This is not a time for you to fast. This is a time for you to utilize all of the nourishment to produce that breast milk and be able to pass that on. If you start doing longer fasts and you do have toxicity, the big thing that's going to happen is that toxic load is going to go into your breast milk. So it's really important for my breastfeeding moms to make sure you're not doing any longer fast. If you want to eat in an 8-hour window and not have anything for 16, and you feel like you're not starving, you're not depleted, your milk color does not change, your milk consistency doesn't change. So, if it was creamy and now it looks gray, that's a no-go for you. So just really pay attention to that. For my women who are past that stage and either still having a regular cycle or perimenopausal, I want you to take a look at your monthly cycle. I want you to look at what day you actually start your period, and that from day 1 to day 15 is a great opportunity to put in longer fasts. In fact, if you're somebody who suffers from breast tenderness, bloating, stomach period cramps, or any type of muscle soreness leading up to your period, on that day 1 of your period, it's a perfect day to fast. If you could do a 24 fast even, so just one meal in that 24-hour period, that would be ideal. But honestly, if you could fire up a nice fast as long as you can in a safe way, again, checking that blood sugar to make sure that it's in a proper range for you. And if you have questions or concerns about that, you can either drop me a message here or you can reach out on www.mariehayden.com and I will be happy to get back to you. From there, you want to then go back into having your 16 and 8 routine. I prefer to have a 6-hour eating window and 18 hours. It just really works for me. And every now and then I'll toss in a 20 and a 4, depending on my lifestyle. When you hit that 15th day in your cycle, you're going to ease off. You're going to go right back to just a 16 and 8. And we're going to talk in another video about some of the foods you want to start having, because we're trying to get progesterone to come up. So we look at a certain amount of foods, like something like a sweet potato, to interject here in day sort of 16 to whenever the end of your period is. Now, for those of you who have short periods, this is totally okay. We're just going to break things down into, say, a 10-day cycle, 15-day cycle. I've got some ladies, their periods come every 10 to 15 days. I know, ladies, consider yourself really good if you've got a 28 to a 35-day rotation or thereof. So for those ladies, you're going to take a look at splitting it in half. So if you've got a rotation of 14 days, you're going to look at the first couple of days for your fasting and then no fasting for the latter part of it. So kind of break it up into quarters, if you will, or maybe even just 50-50. Okay. So hopefully, my ladies, that's giving you enough information. Gentlemen, I would prefer you listen to my husband's rhetoric on his fasting when I interview him here and there, because he definitely leans into things a little bit differently than I do. I come from a hormonal perspective. I do a lot of stuff around Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism, and my husband has had huge success with carnivore. And for carnivore, just for me right now, it's not 100% there for me, but I definitely know that intermittent fasting and choosing the right foods that work for my body is doing great wonders for me. So thanks again for watching and listening, and if you like some of the content I'm putting out there, then please go ahead and subscribe on my channel, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Renew you, Marie Hayden.